Welcome to Gnostic Mysteries. In this episode, we begin our series on the biblical text of Genesis. This object behind me is going to serve as the focus of our investigation. It's a three-sided pyramid. At the base of each of the three faces are the opening verses from the biblical text of Genesis. Above the text are three groups of symbols. The first is a group of geometrical figures. The second is a collection of astrological symbols, while the third is a combination of symbols from the I-ching, as well as from astrology. This artifact has been designed to guide the seeker through the various hidden layers of meaning encoded within the biblical text. I'm here without any of our production crew, completely isolated for the duration of my attempt to decipher the artifact. Fortunately, we've been equipped with a helmet which contains a video camera. This should help make up for our lack of a cameraman. So let us begin. These shapes developed from a single dot within a circle, to a line, a triangle, a square, etc. This is the monadic progression. The progression begins with the dot in the center of the circle. The circle represents the void, while the dot is the singularity that arises from this nothingness. Consider the line below. In the beginning God created heaven and earth. Heaven is the sphere of empty space, and there, in the center, is a ball of matter. Clearly the creation of heaven and earth corresponds to the symbolic representation of the monad. Okay, I'm just going to push this sphere. I'm sorry ladies and gentlemen, I'm pretty sure that wasn't supposed to happen. I'll just reach in here to grab the sphere. Just a little bit further. I've got it. Damn. I have fallen into the tetrahedron, and I find myself in an apparently infinite expanse of blackest space, empty except for the sphere. The monad. Only this is not the state of the monad. No, if anything this is a dyad, because there is the monad, floating there, and there is this perspective from which we are observing the monad. For this experience to truly be of the monad, we, namely this point of view, must merge with that of the monad. Consider a world where a blob, an all-consuming amorphous mass, has swallowed the entire planet. I am being consumed, so that this temporary duality might be returned to unity. This is not, however, a painful consumption. My skin doesn't feel as though it is being burnt away, rather my physical body feels as though it is expanding. Indeed, I encompass the world. I am the all. I cannot rise up from the world, for I am the world. This is the monad, where all is one. And so ends our examination of the monad. Let's now take a look at another side of the artifact. Here we find the same opening verses from Genesis. Above the verses is a selector with 3 switches. As we see, all the switches are in the left position and the display is showing 3 solid lines, which, in the I-ching, is the trigram for heaven, or sky. Heaven is mentioned in the verses. However, the focus is not on heaven, but on earth. So, I am going to move all 3 switches to the right. Each switch is labeled with a pair of astrological signs. For this episode, we are going to focus on the trigram's middle line. The left position is marked with the astrological symbol for Jupiter, while the right is marked with a symbol for Earth. This is a central polarity, heaven or earth. Nothing or something. Abstraction or matter. This central line is the ruling line for the trigrams of both heaven and earth, and it signifies whether the remaining trigrams are concerned with the material, or with the abstract. So, I suppose that this is it. I am within the artifact, suspended above a pitch-black ocean. So we are above the deep, and the darkness is complete, except for my flashlight. Notice, however, the reflective nature of the waters that cover the earth. The earth is described as void and without form, but it is actually the heavens that are empty and formless. This is the darkness that the waters reflect. This wall is adorned with the zodiac wheel, as well as with the most ancient of the planetary symbols. As earlier, these verses are focused on Earth, so I shall press the astrological symbol for Earth. Like so. A world covered in water, without light, results in a world covered in ice. We have but one final riddle to solve. Which I-ching hexagram corresponds to the closing verse? And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. Spirit means literally breath, which, in the I-ching, is associated with wind. Wind over water, hexagram 59. This hexagram, wind over water, is named dispersal. It speaks of the frozen waters of winter, being melted and dispersed by the warm winds of spring. However, what we have here are no simple earthly winds,